Hello from my heart, everybody. This is the first live broadcast here on Blog Talk Radio. This is Reverend Sue from Transitions to Transformation Radio. I'm just so happy to be here tonight, and you know, I'll be so happy to hear from you guys tonight. I have a very special guest. He's numerologist Todd Patrick Curran. He is the author of The Mysteries of Numerology, The Guide to Your Destiny, including personal profiles of visionaries, musicians, and madmen. And he's not only an author, like I said, he's a numerologist, and numerology is an ancient science. And just like astrology, it can bring out many facets of your personality and really gives you a crystal clear picture of actually all the facets of your personality. So I am going to connect with Todd Patrick Curran now, and give me one moment. This is actually my first broadcast, so I am just going to give him a call here. Hello, Todd. Are you there?
I am.
Welcome, Todd. Welcome to the show. I'm just so happy you're able to. Yeah, anytime. You know, thank you for agreeing to come to being on the show tonight on such short notice. I thought, well, I want to do a live show tonight. The past couple of shows have been all recordings, and you know, Todd has graciously allowed me to have him as my guest tonight, and I'm really super happy about it. And Todd is just a wealth of information. You're like a human calculator, I tell you. He can, you know, Todd just really does a lot of calculations, you know, a lot of times without paper, you know, and if you can just tell everybody briefly what numerology is and a little bit of a history about it, I'm sure our guests would love to hear it.
Well, numerology takes your birth date, reduces it to numbers. It takes your birth name. It takes the letters of your birth name, and those letters are reduced to numbers in Western numerology, which is the recent, also called Western numerology, where A is a 1, B is a 2. It's become more simplified in time. And when you get to J, which is the 10th letter in the alphabet, you're really going back to 1 again. So I would be 9, and then 10, the double numbers you'd add together, the 1 and the 0. You're always doing this in numerology because you're trying to get to the root number. The root numbers, 1 through 9, is how that energy, your essence, is expressed to manifest in the world of ego. Not that the double numbers don't have a meaning in themselves, but right now we're interested in the single digits. And when you get to Z, which is the 26th letter in the alphabet, it's actually an 8, because 2 and 6 is 8. This is called Phatic addition, and it's something that takes time to get used to because we're not taught this in mathematics. And so numerology takes your birth date and your birth certificate name to define your spiritual purpose on Earth, and it is based on the idea of the perpetuation of cumulative energies over many chapters of a much larger life. We're referring, in this case, to reincarnation, although to understand numerology, reincarnation is certainly not a prerequisite. This isn't a belief system. The numbers will tell you who you are, whether you believe in previous incarnations or not.
Oh, well, that is, you know, it's just amazing. You know, like much like astrology, you can really see all the different facets of your personality. You know, it's one way of really getting to know yourself better. And I know you've done my numbers. I'm a 66.
Actually, you're a 55.
Oh, I'm sorry, 55. That's right. I am a 55. Yeah, I'm going up. I'm going up to 10. So
I mean, 6 is heart oriented, and you are the 3 of hearts in the playing cards. So interesting that you would even bring that up, because we're speaking a language here. You're telling me something about how you feel right now. But you came in as a 55, and 5 and 5 is 10, and 1 and 0 is 1. You came in as a master. 55 double numbers vibrate at higher frequencies. They are in tune to their spirit guides. 55, the conversion of languages. Bill Gates is a 55, taking human language and translating it into computer language. 1 being how it is manifest in the outside world and how people see you as a strong individualist and a pioneer, unique, and a leader in higher consciousness. Ones are shamans, writers. You wrote a book, is that correct?
I'm in the process of writing a book, and I was studying and still will study shamanism too. So it's right on the money. It's amazing.
It's neat, isn't it?
It is. It's really a science, and it's just so accurate. It's really, really, it still amazes me. It really does.
Well, when I was looking at my chart and I saw that I only had 1 5 in my name, most people have a lot of 5s. This is an N, an E, or a W. And America adds up to 5, and U.S. adds up to 5, and it has to do with sales. 5's off balance, so we always, fill this need. And it kind of bothered me. And I thought, well, 5 deals with sexual needs. Anytime a number's low, it shows a repression of that energy. Everybody has missing numbers, and they will try to repress that energy, or they will go to the other extreme to get it. It's like they have to have it, and so there's this roller coaster effect with these numbers that tend to occur. And I've had these philosophical discussions with people that these numbers are like a prism, and maybe in this life. Maybe there was some misuse of sexuality, but before I called you, and I thought of what I believe strongly, and that is it is the perpetuation of energy from past lives. Somebody that would not have a lot of 5s would have probably abstained. I come in as a 7, so I probably was a priest in many lives, and I didn't move around a lot. 5 is travel and the senses and so forth, and intolerance or many interests, and I probably shelved myself off as a 7, and maybe even took a vow of abstinency. Is that the word? Abstinency as a priest, So. Certainly these energies can shift, but as set in my mind right now as I think of how my life is I've probably lived many lives as a monk or a priest, and there's some karmic numbers in there too. So I've been, karmic numbers are out of the box where I've been directly opposed to the religious establishment, have been hung for it, or died several violent deaths that I not only remember, but they are written in the numbers, or they have been told to me previous to accidents, and they are also written and validated through the astrology, not necessarily specifically, in many times dead on, but violently nonetheless.
Wow, that's some really heavy past life stuff.
Well, what's fascinating about it is, I think of the first time getting on a snowmobile and going up a hill, and nobody told me there was a fence at the top, and luckily some angel hit the accelerator instead of the brake so that I could make it through that fence. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here talking to you right now because I catapulted through the fence. The fence broke, and I sometimes wonder, I remember I haven't pinpointed a Korean War, Vietnam, Vietnam began in '59. I was born in '65. It could have been Korea, but I died violently as a gunner, and I'm not so sure that energy is just not simply perpetuated. Where I almost tried to relive that very energy. We get comfortable with good things. We get comfortable with bad stuff. We get comfortable in our own misery. We tend to perpetuate the same type of energies over and over again until we say, man, this doesn't feel good.
No, absolutely. And,
it's amazing.
It's just like numerology, numerology is like a blueprint for our life. It just shows us what we need to work on, and we can work on it and get through. I have a couple of callers here. Wow. Okay, I have Danielle, and I also have Lee. I'm going to patch in Danielle. Hello.
Hi, Danielle.
Hi. Oh, my God, over the radio. It's so cool.
That's great.
So happy that you're on with us, Danielle. Did you have a question for Todd?
I was just wondering, can you read information from someone's birth date?
Sure.
And if so, what?
Well, the birth date is the lesson, and it's like a seed. It's something that we're naturally going to grow into, so it's kind of like a gift. It can also be referred to as dharma, what you must do in this life. There are many lessons and challenges and achievement number and birthday number and life path number that come through there. And because there's so many different things that come from the birth date, a lot of authors will say that it's the numerologist that it's the most important number. I disagree. I think it's very important, but I think you're going to do it anyway, and I tend to fall back on the birth certificate name because that's what you already have done many times, and you can fall back on it. I'm 47 years old, so I'm kind of tired of working on things. I kind of like to fall back for a little while and get in my comfort zone. So you can do that with your name.
With my name?
Yeah, with your birth certificate name. But we can go back to your life path. I wasn't really trying to get off of that because it's a very important number also. And we can do both.
Cool.
Yeah,
what is
isn't it?
Well, could I get you to do my life path number for me?
Sure.
Okay, and what's involved with that?
Well, all we need is your birth date.
Oh, okay. So it's January 28th, 1968.
January 28th,
68.
What did you say, Danielle?
68.
68. Oh, you're a youngin'.
Yeah. I'm heading on to my 45th birthday here, so long as we get past the 21st.
Yeah, your birthday's coming up pretty soon.
Yeah.
Aquarius.
Mhm.
Aquarius, the geniuses. They're on a different wavelength altogether. God bless you.
I don't think anybody I know would agree with the genius part, but okay.
Well, just just go with it, okay?
Yeah, I'm going with it.
Okay, so I'm just adding that up, okay? I'm adding the 1, 2, 8. What do we got here? 10. There's a lot of different ways to do this. 6, and we got, and it's an 8, and it has to do with learning about organization and money, and it could have to do with physical resources. There can be power struggles. Growing up with that number as you come into your own power, or you might find yourself surrounded at a young age with people that do not follow your beliefs, and you have to come strongly into your own power through that the adversaries.
Okay. That all sounds good.
It's not an easy number to define. Some of the life path numbers are not as well developed as the name number is.
Okay.
You're born on the 28th, and that reduces to 1, and that shows somebody that has pioneering skills,
cool.
strong individuality, and possibly writing skills.
Cool. That's good to know.
Spiritual. And then you're born on 128, and 1 and 28 is 29 or 11. So you have a 1 sitting next to 11. You're definitely tuned into another realm. You're talking about 111 here, you know.
Wow.
And 1 goes straight up and down, so it's very connected to God. It goes forever, and very single-minded. 11 gives you visionary abilities.
Oh, cool.
Mhm.
That's really cool. So how do I use this information for making it pass for the future? And that'll be the last one. I know you've got more callers.
Well, tell me what your birth name is.
Danielle.
Okay. And your middle name?
Denise, Denise.
And your last name?
Sierra, S as in Sam, IERRA.
Say 420, 20, 45, or 40, 51. Your name adds up to 6. Okay, so you came in as a teacher, healer. You probably had some service jobs that you've done in your life.
Yeah.
And artists, interior decorators. I didn't get it again. Do you have any F, O's, or X's in your name?
No, I don't.
Okay, so you came in as a 6, but you still have things to learn about relationships, even though you're a 6, because you don't have any 6s in the letters of your name. It's a missing number. So you came here to learn a lot about relationships.
Okay.
You know, not a bad thing. I mean, at least you came in as a 6. If you didn't have any 6s and you were missing it, we could guarantee that you'd have at least 1 marriage. And it's very common missing number. F and O and X is one of the most common missing numbers. That's why the divorce rate is so high in this country, because most of us have not learned responsibility in relationships. But you coming in as a 6, you've learned an awful lot about it. You're just going to take it to a deeper level.
Cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. And it was great talking to you.
Yeah, same here. Thanks.
Okay.
It's great talking to you, Danielle. I'm so happy you called in.
Thank you, too, Sue. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks. Okay, our next caller is Lee. I am going to put Lee live. He's been waiting so patiently. Hello, Lee. Lee, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. You hear me?
Oh, okay. Welcome to the show, Lee.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I was on speaker phone and I had you on mute, so I had to turn the mute on.
Skip all the details, Lee. How you doing there, buddy?
Good.
So, how's my rock and roll guru friend doing?
Still rocking and rolling.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. I had a question. It's an esoteric question, not in particular to me, but just a question in general. You're born into a number. For instance, I was born in July 10, 1969, so that gives me a number. And then I was named in Thomas Marsh, which gives me a number. Over your lifetime, you learn and you grow. Does that mean that you're a different number when you pass away?
Oh, wow, that's a good question.
Yep.
I came in as a 7, okay? I'm going very deeply into that same energy. So I would assume that when I die I will be a 7, but the letters within my name, the missing numbers will have been accumulated where they lack. Let's say I'm missing a 2, I'm not tactful. I will run into many other people that are not tactful as a reflection of my own energy. I will learn sensitivity. And I say we will learn it because how can we not? Who doesn't want to, who isn't interested in higher consciousness and being more godlike, right? So we have to assume that these numbers are transmuting or we're accumulating them. It is true that myself as a 7 and now dealing with humanity, which is a 9, that I could die a 9. But chances are I go as a 7, but a lot of my other numbers are now intensified and cleared. They're cleared out, okay? And that's really the only way I can explain it. Some of the numbers are definitely going to change. 7's very spiritual, but 9, it takes it to the humanitarian level, and it's 2 more than 7. So I think they absolutely do change. Some of them are strengthened, and some of them fluctuate or increase. They don't decrease unless you can't, yeah. I guess if you go against divine will, you could accumulate some heavy karmic numbers along the way, but I don't think as a society that's where we stand at this point. I think we've made the paradigm shift in our consciousness to overcome some of those lesser, denser base numbers, 13, 14, 16, and 19 being the lower aspects of the numbers behind them. So that's it. I'm getting some good reverberation on the other line there.
Yeah, a little bit. Can you hear everything okay, Lee?
A little bit of.
Yeah, it's a little bit shaky, but yeah, I can hear everything.
It's got a little bit of Jimi Hendrix feedback going on.
Yeah.
It's okay. It feels good.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's very interesting, how everybody's numbers are so different, and and how it relates to your name as given on your birth certificate, I believe, right?
Well, what I was thinking, and it's such an amazing universal problem. I'm thinking about my numbers and ones I lack, and other people that have so many of them. And how could they, like it's better to have more numbers, when in fact it's actually a pattern. It's a perfect pattern of who we are. And then, this person's got more numbers than me, but they're completely lacking another. And so we're so hard on ourselves. We're comparing ourselves to other people when we came here to specifically challenge ourselves. I mean, we didn't. It's not all about challenge. It certainly feels like it down here in a dense planet where we are, going to end this life and go into another. It's pretty difficult down here, But to compare ourselves to others, or to say that somebody that has more numbers is in better shape. I mean, you could have more numbers and be you could have you could be born with a ton of 5s and be an absolute sex fiend, not be able to concentrate on anything, totally sensory overload, and so you don't have any depth of character. Not good for an inventor.
No, definitely not. No.
So the analysis, the problem that we have down here with this whole ego thing is a misperception. It's a chronic problem of seeing things the way they really are, as opposed to our way that we often see them, which is illusory, based on this little span of experiences we've had in this life. in other lives.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, do you want to speak?
Yeah. So, to clarify, just for people who don't understand numerology, somebody who is a number 1, how do they stand compared to someone who's number 9 spiritually?
The 1 tends to be more self-serving. They seem to be, they could seem to be selfish or self-absorbed, but the reality is that they are isolating themselves and not thinking like the crowd so that they can do something for humanity by through the isolation of information and not incorporating other people's ideas, but taking them and innovating them and making them better through very strong analysis. A 9, so a 1 brings beginnings. Good question, by the way, Lee. You come up with some good ones. One is the seed of all creativity. Very creative individuals. You say, wow, where did that sound come from? Where did Stevie Nicks get that unique voice? So ones are like a spark of creative force. 9 is anti-ego. It's the very opposite of 1 in the sense that it brings endings to things, not beginnings. A lot of people that work in the nursing fields. 9 is healing. Scorpio, Pluto. They help people go through the transformation of death, which we're not even talking physical necessarily, but the process of the stages that we go through psychologically to eliminate the illusions through higher religion and spirituality, or finishing things. A 1 does not know how to finish things. They are creative. They make a mess. They move on. A 9, 1 and 9 go together is the genius combination, actually, being on opposite polarities, and 1 the beginning and 1 the ending, because 9 can complete what 1 does not. And of course 9 is more broad-minded because it incorporates all the numbers 1 through 9, whereas 1 incorporates itself first and foremost. But it also makes it more pure in experience.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. So I had a quick question. Say if somebody was moving to a certain address, what number are they looking for to be in the optimal best place to move to? Like say if my house number is 9920, and Island Harbor Drive.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Oh no.
No, that's a good house for psychic activity, and it is a 2. So, there's other people in a house like that to partner with. So it's not a lonely type of number. Lonely would be 1. I love the number 33, or a pure 6, or a 24 address, 2 and 4, 6, or 3. Because there's going to be a lot of love and philosophy and light energy with 3. If you want to do research, then you want a 7 or a 16 or a 25, and let's not forget that when you're doing addresses, you're not only just getting the number, but you got the whole address. Just like what it always has to do with what goes out to the universe the most. I imagine whatever goes on a letterhead would be the full address, including the zip code. So you're actually getting 2 numbers whenever you're doing an address.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know that because, I always wanted to, if I ever looked for a house or something to buy, what exactly I would look for. So that's really awesome.
I would go with a 21-3, not a 12-3. 12's difficult.
Yeah.
Because 12 deals with a certain amount of victimization. 21 turns it upside down. On 12-21, everything's going to be turned upside down, and there's there's two double numbers. There's an 11 and a 33 on that day. So it's amazing. God only knows what's going to happen on there. 11 deals with sunlight. Is a massive sun going to come down? Are we going to become enlightened? The 33 of that address has to do a tremendous earth healing. I mean, 6 is healing, 33 is on a higher level. So something's going to happen on that day. There's no doubt. I liken those days to portal days, where there's going to be some kind of a massive energy shift, Interesting. I didn't mean to get off on that 2012 stuff, but the 2012. I mean, the 14 there. That karmic number shows polar shifts, and of course Obama adds up to 14. So, and he won on a 14 day. So, if that election had been over at like 3 p.m., Romney, all the numbers were for Romney for that day. But they started to shift as the day went on, and even if the numbers were for Romney, if Romney isn't getting the votes, it doesn't matter. I didn't incorporate that. I'm saying the day's for Romney, but it's not for Romney if Romney's not going to get the most votes. It's the analysis of numbers is fascinating, and on that day, I told a friend, Romney's going to win, and I said it's the 6. He's a 6. All his numbers are 6s, and he said, this great philosophical Aquarius. He looks like a past life priest. I run into him in Plant City at my mom's down at the pool, and he said, well, we need 7. And I said, could the election go past midnight? And he said it very could. And I started thinking, wow, the numbers change around 10, and they all changed for Obama, every single one of them. And I thought, holy smokes, this is nuts, So, live and learn. And, I got the answer from somebody else, and that's what we're all here for. We're all geniuses, and we're just all mirrors. We're just doing a big one. One is in everybody awakening here. That's all it is. This is the Great Awakening.
It is a great awakening. It really, really is. There's so many changes going on. So many people are going through so much all at once, it seems, right now, and everything seems to be speeding up, and the energies with the planet and also our human auric field, which are both magnetic, are affecting each other. So there's a lot going on. Just you telling me that, and it's like, wow, a lot's going on, and I'm going through this kind of a dark night of the soul astrologically, so I'm kind of spend the day kind of alone. I'm preparing for a class on Friday, and I'm thinking, man, I'm going through a lot of stuff. Wow, and you just validated that, and we become an island when we don't commune with other people, no doubt. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think you're the only one going through it.
Yeah, it feels that way. But if everybody opened up about it, I'm sure people would find they're definitely not alone. There's so many of us going through so many changes. I mean, heck, with me, it was illness, financial, personal, and it was just overwhelming, everything all at once, and I had to deal with it, and luckily, we have these sciences to turn to see this blueprint that's laid out for our life, and, and it kind of shines a little spotlight on what we need to work on. So I absolutely love numerology and astrology. Now you're going to be doing a workshop this coming Friday, which is my birthday, November 30th.
Lucky 30.
Yeah.
I said pick 3. It's working for me. I got a good friend.
Yeah.
And you got that 0 to magnify that 3. Very loving soul, very philosophical.
Thanks. Yep. And that's definitely a Sagittarian trait too. So both numerologically and astrologically, they coincide. So yeah.
Well, can I ask you? Do you have a strong presence of Sagittarius? Then you're correct. I mean, with that 3 there, it is a duplication of the fact that you're already a Sagittarius to be born on a 3 day.
Yeah. Definitely.
So my class, let's go back to my class. My class is at, it's in Newport Richey off of Pebble Creek Road.
Yes, Pebble Creek Road.
And it's at the Sanctuary of Light. You can look that up on the internet, the Sanctuary of Light, and it's from 7 to 9 p.m. Friday night. And I'm going to have 3 eraser boards. I guess that means I'll have 3 easels. And they're all going to be filled up with information so that I don't have to stand up there with a marker while I'm trying to assist other people in doing their own key that they get to take home that is a perfect, somewhat perfect duplication of what's going previously on the board. And we'll look at a couple people from my book, The Mysteries of Numerology, which can be bought off of the Amazon.com, a flow chart that takes you through somebody's chart from the birth date into the name and then their destiny, and then looking at the missing numbers, looking at the whole enchilada to see if they actually fulfilled their destiny through the numbers. And, of course, Susan, what do you think the outcome to that is?
I always think positively, so I'm going to say it's going to come out great.
Well, let me rephrase that. What I was trying to say is, when you put together a chart for Hitler, my book is also about visionaries, musicians, and madmen. They absolutely fulfill their destiny through the flow chart. There's no discrepancies with these number systems. I feel confident enough, having done thousands of charts, that I never really found a discrepancy. Having dealing with symbols, there is certain leeway in the analysis of the numbers, and which makes it hard to necessarily define in advance somebody's destiny. But who would want to? It's not about predicting, who's going to be king or who's going to be assassin. It's just we simply do fulfill our blueprint, and it's nice because it makes you realize we are here for a reason. And not only that, going back to what Lee said, that blueprint changes. I mean, it's not even real, in fact. These numbers we have and which ones are missing and which ones not, and how we feel about these things they're perceptions, and they're nothing more than perceptions, and they're faulty perceptions that have allowed us. I'm not saying we're not living here in a state of reality. We're seeing half truths at the most, and what you and I and Lee, we got the special trine here, like Rush and Emerson, Lake and Palmer, where you've got 3, you can really grow a lot, and the reality is that we're all trying to make each other more aware of our similarities, not our differences. These comparisons we make is based on the idea that we should be like somebody else, and it's incorrect.
It's true. We are all one. That is true.
We have
another caller on the line. Her name is Melissa. So I'm gonna put Melissa on real quick. Hi, Melissa. Welcome to Transitions to Transformation Radio.
Hi, Reverend Sue. How are y'all doing?
Very good, thanks. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good tonight.
That's good. I'm so happy you called. Did you have a question for Todd, or actually did you want him to do your life path numbers?
Yeah, actually I wanted him to do my numerology thing. I'm still learning about it, so I don't know anything about it.
All right. We can do that. Why don't you give me your name first? I could surprise you with that. Give me your birth certificate name.
Okay, it's Melissa, Melissa.
Okay.
And do you want middle name as well?
If that's what would be on your birth certificate, yes.
Okay. Vivian, Vivian.
Vivin? Vivian?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. And your last name?
My last name, here we go. This will be fun. My last name's Godoy, G-O.
What is it?
Godoy.
G-O.
It's like God and then O-Y.
Oh, Godoy.
Yes. There you go.
All right. Let's do some little bit of a simple calculation here and see what we get.
Okay.
So you use the experiences through work in your life like rungs on a ladder to develop experience by doing many different things.
Oh, yeah, pretty much, actually. That's what I'm doing right now.
Almost like a jack of all trades.
Yep. I've been called that before, actually.
Mm-hmm. And cool. You're a 5.
Okay.
And you're a 14-5, so you're out of the box. And as a 14-5, you might run into some relationships where the other person is not present. And if that's the case, it is nothing more than a reflection of your own energy that, whether you realize it or not, it's something you either need or want. You might not know that you want that, but that's what you attract at times.
Oh, that's true.
James Douglas Morrison of the Doors was a 14-5. 14 in its lower aspects is addicted to sex, food, and drugs, and at a higher level, like Albert Einstein, it's just simply on another level. So it is a number of higher consciousness if it's utilized correctly through discipline.
Okay.
I don't know if you've done any sales jobs or promotional or communication.
I did a lot of communication type, customer service, sales like stuff, and in the Army actually. So we had to sell these cards that eventually became mandatory, so we didn't have to force them on anybody anymore. But there was a time that we had to sell them. So
have you as a 14-5, have you traveled all around? There's two kinds of 14-5s. It's interesting. Ones that go from place to place, or ones that feel restricted in the circumstances they find themselves. And my guess is, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, that oftentimes it's both. These numbers are dual, by the way.
With the Army, I pretty much went everywhere. I mean, I'd be one place a year, and then they'd move me somewhere else for a year, and then it was just every year for 5 years, it was just back and forth. So, but I did enjoy it. I liked seeing new places and everything, and, now if I was able to, I'd probably still be able to, or still go out and travel and all that. I do like seeing new things and all.
I've lived all over, and I'm always fascinated because I'll tell somebody, I've lived in 28 different places, and they'll say, well, I've lived in 40, and I thought, oh, geez, they're a 5. They're a 14-5. Beats my numbers for travel.
Yeah,
that's amazing,
true.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of 14-5s in the circus, too. Interesting people.
Oh, yeah, I bet. They're exciting.
No, let's see if I could find my pen. I haven't learned to throw laser darts yet down at my paper, so I'm still using a pen. As a 7, I would like to use all futuristic stuff. I'd like to be able to, just use my wand to put circles on that chart, burn them in, right? Burn the symbols in, and that time will come. Might not be on this realm of experience, but it's in my mind right now. So when is your birth date?
August 4th, 79.
Okay, that's the so you're the 9 of diamonds in the playing cards. So there's the ability to make money, but you might find that you have had to give a lot also. It's just part of your karma to have to give back.
Yeah.
August 4, 12, 21, 2. I'm very compatible with that day. Okay. Yeah, I know somebody else that's born on that same birthday, 9 of diamonds.
Cool.
And you have a 2 life path, and that has to do with actually. Well, let me see. I was going to say it adds up to 20, and I think it as a subcategory it does 10, 17, 26. Yeah, I did get 20. So 2s are sensitive. They're here to partner with other people. They are good with detail type of work, unless you're missing a BK and a T in your name, and then that could be a problem. But 2s are often secretarial, sensitive, musical. The 0 magnifies that, 20 being the power behind the throne. And the idea of that is somebody that's technically oriented but doesn't really want the front stage. And this is where it gets kind of confusing. How does that go with a Leo that does want the front stage? Is there a battle that goes on there?
Sometimes. Actually, I've had several people ask me that. They say, well, you're not very, you're outgoing, but you're not, usually Leos are leaders or they like to take charge, but I'm kind of the one that sits in the back and likes to observe everything. So, yeah, it is kind of it does kind of conflict. So it does get confusing.
Yeah, we're it's amazing how different layers we have, and it's neat to be able to take the sun sign like that, and then you're not a Leo 1 or a Leo 8, you're a Leo 2 in this case. Well, I would say that you're a Leo 5 because I think your birth certificate number is more important than your life path, and I don't think of Leo as traveling around. I mean, so it's interesting. And then with a 2 birth date, and then you have a 5 name, you would add the 2 and the 5 together, and imagine an arrow going to the right and a 7, the 2 and the 5 being a 7. As you get older, your destiny or maturity, whenever that takes place, going deeper into the metaphysical as you've gotten older. And 7 is also travel and investigation and research, so it's very similar to the 5. All the odd numbers are off balance, single-minded, intellectual because of that, and then you have these evens. You have you're born on the 4th, and you're born on the 8th month, and then you got the 2. So you have an interesting chart because there's a nice duality between the on-the-go type of energy, and then you have some solid energy in there. For example, being born on the same day as Obama, the 4 giving solidification. And I don't want to, bring my political viewpoints, but I think we needed a 4 in this country right now. I mean, 4 is going to take care of the problems at home first and foremost. Okay. And happy birthday to you and Obama.
Yeah, his well overshadows mine, but I still I still
well,
like
that's because he's a
birthday.
1. He's a born 1. So he is truly a Leo. But his life path is a 2 like yours, and then he's born because you guys are born on 8/4. 8 and 4 is 12 or 3. He's a 1, 2, 3. That's got to be a good thing. And you got that 3 there, and that's nice because that 3 sitting next to that 4 takes some of the seriousness away from that boxed-in energy of that 4, and that's more of a creative type of energy that's sitting there. Your numbers are all over the place. They're interesting.
Oh, cool.
You're a child of
like
light.
anyway.
There's no doubt about it.
Yep, I am all over, that's for sure.
Yeah,
but it's fun though. It makes life more interesting. So.
I mean, a two should maybe seek out partnerships.
Okay.
Yeah, twos often get together with 1s. One's a 1 and a 2. One's looking for self-employment, and 2's looking for somebody to partner with. And as a Leo, you already have a strong sense of 1 energy, regardless. And I've known other Leos with 2 life paths. They're very loving and supportive.
Cool.
But that 14/5 says, wait a minute, I just want to be impulsive and detached, and then everybody's confused.
Yeah, actually. I get that way. So, how can I change this, and, it's just, I guess, just part of my nature, so.
Exactly. That's, when you say that, you make me think about my own numbers, because when you said that, I was thinking, well, how am I going to change mine? And it's like, yeah, it's just where we're at in our evolution, and it is not good and it is not bad. It is, we do not get around karma. I went to a Course in Miracles, which is a spiritual teaching the other day, and I swear I willed my ex-girlfriend into that place, and I must have gone back there 6 times, not even knowing why because it was far away. And she came in with 10 minutes near the end of the class. And what was the whole purpose of my story of that morning I woke up and I said, you cannot go around karma. You have to go through it, And it sounds so bad. I mean, I don't think of karma as a good thing anyway. I don't think of good karma and bad karma. I think of dharma as being good, doing what you're supposed to be doing in your evolution, which would be something that's pure. And I do think of karma as something that's kind of like going through some hazy clouds, But you can't go around it, And here I'm saying that, and here she walked in, and I couldn't think. I shook for 2 months. For whatever reason, when that relationship was over, I'm going through a dark night of the soul, so I guess I knew I was going to have to go back to myself. I was going to lose her. I did. And then she came in, and I was so glad to see her, and yet I couldn't think at all. And the girl next to me was rubbing my leg. She's a 6, very loving. They're like very motherly. She's a teacher. 6 will do anything to heal somebody. And I walked outside and I talked to her a little bit. I just said to her, I just needed to see you. She probably thought I was crazy after all this time. And I went and I knocked on her window. She was, in her car. And it created a tremendous amount of healing. There's so many things in life that until you get older, that you realize you need to proceed and do certain things, because I remember having a great relationship when I was young that I lost for whatever reason, and it ending badly. And I think that's where all of that having to see this person came from too, is, to make it right, You get older, you realize you've only got one chance, So, I mean, you don't have one chance, but this is your chance. That's, it comes around.
Yeah, true. And it's always good to take that chance, because it really facilitates in healing a great deal.
You can't get to the next level a lot of times. You're blocked,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's
the cause for alcoholism. It's the cause for overeating. All those things that we do to, try to medicate those what's not healed.
Yeah, I can definitely attest to the overeating part.
Me too.
I could go for one of those turkey things that you get at like the Renaissance right now.
Oh, you big turkey leg.
Turkey leg.
Yeah. Yeah, they're always good. In fact, I was still eating my leftovers today from Thanksgiving. That's how much we cooked. But anywho.
Well, you're the three of hearts. I mean, there's gonna with that playing card, there's gonna be, three is expansive. It likes to eat. There's no doubt. You think of New York City being a 3, you're gonna get a lot of good restaurants there.
Oh yeah, I've been to a couple there, Thai and Italian. Oh, don't even get me started on that.
You started it.
Yum.
Yeah, actually, I did.
Let's talk about Thai food.
Yeah, Thai food. Oh my God, it's awesome. But as far as I guess his numerology goes, I already asked the question about if you wanted to get a new place, what the desired number would be, and you said a 21-5, I believe.
21, 2 and 1 is 3, so a 3. I love the number 3. We could think about this. My initials, TPC. You take your initials of your name, and it adds up to. I think it adds up to 12. And 1 and 2 is 3, so it's a balanced number for me. As a 7, and 7 is heavy and melancholy and always researching, and it's never enough, Then 3, 3s are very philosophical, but they're also very loving and interested in comedy. I'm thinking of Jim Carrey, and it's hard for me to get to those light places sometimes. That's why I like 3 so much, because I'm always trying to get to that. I used to have it, by the way. It kind of went away. Somewhere along the way, that 88 7 that I have took over, and but I also just something that I share with both of you and you, Susan, that I was talking about these double numbers vibrating at higher frequencies. So we're real intense, and until we do whatever it is we have to do. I don't think we ever know what that is. These energies are high, and I have been in a 22 essence for 5 years. So it's almost like trying to, the only way I can see it for me is the mass production of a huge metaphysical project, and actually that's what's been going on. I'm 47, so that's an 11. And I'm dealing with a 22 and an 88. So no wonder why I've been feeling pretty sober, the last couple of years. And luckily on January 6th on my birthday, then I get out of that long phase of that 22, and I go into a 20, which is, partnerships. And it goes along with the astrology that, like, wow, I'm going to meet somebody in January and February. It's got me relocating, and I don't know. I just have the feeling I'm not going to meet anybody till I relocate. So I think it's all, it's all lining up for some nice energies for next year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's something to look forward to, and you had to cross the moat to get to the castle. So you're just about there at the castle, my friend.
Well, it's really interesting, Susan. In between, I have these classes and. My numbers are kind of a loner, and I'm like I'm on a high when I'm done. I can see why rock stars don't want to get off of the road. And then 2 weeks I'm hanging around, and I'm doing what a 7 has been doing for thousands of years. I'm going into these books, into the, it's funny because this is, we do what we know, and our numbers take us out of our comfort zone, and so I can't wait for Friday to come, but it's really neat because I'm saying, geez, I need to forget about this one easel. I got to do this and that, and it's really frustrating for me to get it to the level I want, and yet it's happening, within that frustration, as the days go by, it's like it'll be set up on Friday then better than it's ever been set up. I wanted a projector, but the 3 easels will work fine, and I'd probably have somebody take a picture of them and scan them too, so that I can, my neighbor David, so that I can keep the information, put it, into my documents. I mean, why keep, writing on it and erasing it when it's, brand new vital information? I mean, every time I put something on the board, it's, something that I haven't done. It's not coming directly from my book,
Oh, yeah, and your book, which I absolutely love. I mean, for anybody that loves rock and roll and numerology, this is the book to get. Once again, that book is called The Mysteries of Numerology, The Guide to Your Destiny, including personal profiles of visionaries, musicians, and madmen. And that can be found on Amazon.com. And I'll be posting a link directly to that Amazon.com where they have your book for sale, and I'll put that on the recording of this show.
I'm liking you better all the time, Susan.
Thanks. I'm always there to promote you because I think you're brilliant. I think you have such a great insight on all things spiritual, and you have a genuine good heart. You definitely want, you genuinely want to help other people through your work with numerology, and it is very healing, just like astrology and the esoteric sciences. It really helps a lot. I mean, Melissa, you still on?
I'm still here.
You must have read my mind, Susan. I was thinking, is Melissa still there?
Yeah.
I'm still here. I was just listening.
You're a good two. You, Melissa, you proved that you are a two.
Yes. And I was going to say, Melissa likes yoga. She likes
yoga. I love it.
The esoteric sciences too.
What did you say about the esoteric sciences, Susan?
That yoga is part of that too, and Melissa's been doing yoga.
Well, the Beatles were a 7, and they did bring yoga. That was part of their being a 7. Their song "A Day in a Life" is about a dream within a dream. Trance states.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The Magical Mystery Tour.
Oh yeah, and Tomorrow Never Knows. That's a very cool, trippy song. I love that. One of my favorites.
Good stuff. And Led Zeppelin came in as a 7. Their song "Misty Mountain Hops." That was all Lord of the Rings stuff. The immigrant song about the Norse wars. 7 is war. Spielberg. Spielberg comes in as an 88, so he was probably a general in a past life, and that's why he does war stuff. And then of course all those past lives that he would have studied the occult or researched the unknown as an 88. Him and M. Night Shyamalan and George Washington and a mathematician, Indian mathematician, that they are now looking at his theories on string theory, vortex mathematics. He was laughed at. Now, I'm not even going to try to say his name. It's one of those names like you. I'm not prepared to try to get it down, but and he was an 88, and he was born on the 22nd. Double masters from the past that are misunderstood. They're 300 years later, and people are saying, "Wow, he's there could be wormholes in the universe." And one of them you have to take seriously would be Egypt, that adds up to 1 as a cutting-edge technology, one going straight up and down, and then that little name has 3 sevens in it. I mean, that's all about spirituality, high technology, high mathematics. So, I don't know if that they weren't making an alchemical machine in Egypt to create gold for alien aircraft. Fascinating area.
It's just amazing all around.
And I think that in time, when I've looked at the place and the beacons in the United States, the cities and so forth that have sacred sites that have also attracted a lot of UFO activity, that they're attracted through the numerological significance of those areas as portal areas, connectors. It looked like they made a beacon map all over the United States to enter in and out of our galaxy, solar system, through these wormholes.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's, I know I keep saying that. It's pretty amazing to everything, but I'm just, there's so much to the universe that, it's you can't possibly learn everything all in one lifetime. And
oh, come on, we could try, Susan.
Well, yeah, we could try.
burn a few brain cells on the way.
Yeah, and that's how I was feeling lately, because I was going to school and trying to learn all new things and just kind of taking on a little bit too much, and I got a little burnt out. So, I took a break from live radio for a while, but now I'm back, and thanks to you, we're on tonight. It was kind of a spur of a moment thing, for me to decide to go live tonight, because I think I just about posted all of my recorded stuff, so I don't think I had much of a choice. But, it was still very nice having you on, and Melissa, too. You're still on there, Melissa, right?
Yep, still here.
Yay. But was there anything else you wanted to add, Todd?
No, not right now. If anything comes up, I'll pass it along to you to pass it on to him or something like that.
Sure. Yeah. How are you feeling, Todd? Do you feel like talking a little bit more, or are you? Yeah,
no, I'm doing great. I had the kind of day, Susan, where you were saying that we had to do this, and I just think that's funny because of the way the universe operates. I was working on a presentation, and I didn't want to do it, and I kept looking for something I didn't even need to try to avoid it, and then I got to it, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to be on the air, and I called you 5 minutes before, and we have to push it. I mean, once we got on here, this is exactly what I needed to do. It was the what I thought was an escape was an expansion, and I'm glad that you asked me to do it. I'm willing to talk some more, no doubt. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, and we'll keep Melissa on there too. How about that, Melissa? You're up to talking?
Sure. I think my phone's a little low on battery, but it usually lasts a long time before it dies. But it'll be okay.
You got to have some good Duracells. That's all.
Yeah.
Good new phone.
Yeah. So there's, the science of numerology. I mean, it's just spot on. It really is spot on, and I'm just so I can't wait to learn more of it. And you're doing a workshop once again. I'm doing another plug. There's a workshop coming up this coming Friday, November 30th, from 7 to 9 at Sanctuary of Light on Shovel Creek Road in Newport Richey. Actually, it's almost going into in Tarpon Springs on the border of Newport Richey and Tarpon Springs.
Oh, it could be. I said Newport Richey. I'm not sure. I mean, I have a friend that lives a block from there in a beautiful cottage that we've done some healing services over there, and I think it's Newport Richey. But it's going to be 40 doll hairs. I think I got 12 people right now, and the way that it's set up with the information already on the boards, it's going to be easier for me to do more people. I mean, that was the whole idea, you know, is to have already thing pre-set up so that when I go in there I can concentrate on helping people do their number keys in case they're still not sure how to do them through the examples on the board. And if I'm lucky, I will have my book. My book is supposed to arrive books on the 2nd of December, but I have the feeling it's going to get there before that. It usually doesn't take as long as they say it's going to take. And I'd be doing some signing.
That would be great. That'll be great. I absolutely love your book, and you know, once again, your book is on Amazon.com, and it's called The Mysteries of Numerology, The Guide to Your Destiny, including personal profiles of visionaries, musicians, and madmen. And it's available, like I said, on Amazon.com. And for anybody that loves rock and roll and numerology, this is the book for you. And there's some really great illustrations in there too.
Well, if you're a mystic or a musician, if you're an artist, there's a lot of. I found an artist to do all the artwork. I had the pictures of the musicians drawn individually, one at a time. All of the pictures are musicians. I'm born on the 6th, so this is the next best thing to. If I could do it all again, and I'm not done yet. I'm getting pretty good on the keyboards. But living through these musicians and pictures of Bono and PM Dawn and Seal and the singer of Alice in Chains and Stevie Nicks, and I got a picture of Benatar in there, and some wild shamanistic art too. Some crashing eagles, a lot of phoenixes. It's all about transcendence down here. You got two choices. You can crash, and that's okay because you probably wobbled. Stumble a little bit and get up and keep going, or you can take the rise into the air, and spark some of those neon liquid colors and down to your fellow human beings as you look down from a higher vantage point. But when I liken this to having that Scorpio rising that I have, and at the higher aspects of that is the phoenix, and I think of dying as a gunner in the war, and it's like, I believe that I'm here to rise above my own flames from my past life, and that's one of the reasons why I have those phoenixes in that book. When you end your life, I thought about this the other day when I was walking, when you end your life with going down in flames, the Buddhists say you don't want to die badly, and I never knew what that meant. You do that, and some trauma is going to come up because, that's the last thing you remember. You might become enlightened by it, but you're going to have to go through the flames to admonish some of those aggressive energies that I brought in. I think that was one of the main reasons I came back, was to deal with issues of power and so forth, all revolving around the numbers 8 and 88.
Oh, yeah. And 88 is definitely a master number. It's a very high master number. And from what you told me earlier about previous, lives, that you were a gunner in a past life, and that in another past life you were a warrior, and, all this warrior energy, like you said, you just have to dissipate it in this lifetime. You have to learn to quelch it a bit. So what are the things that you've done to try and quelch it, besides energy healing and, meditate? Does meditation help you?
Well, I've had some real wicked fist fights that actually I had a psychic call me on a day. I hadn't seen her in 6 months and said, "You're out of control." And I said, "Well, she just leave me a message like that? I haven't seen her in 6 months." And had a friend come over on March 1st, and it went down. But, when it was all over, it was one of those predestined things. And I did everything to get along with this person, by the way. I want to tell you that anytime we got in an argument, I'd say, well, what did I do wrong? Can I go buy you a steak? So I was already making a huge turn in consciousness at the time. But that doesn't mean that we don't continue to attract that residual energy. I remember coming home one night and police were all over at my door. You know, these stories are great because I think of how miraculous all of our lives are. And I come home and I was like, can I help you? You know, I was at a friend's watching a movie, and, well, you punched some guy across the street in the jaw and broke his jaw. I said, I just moved here 2 days ago. I don't even know who the guy is. And those aren't necessarily good examples because they can sound paranoid that this is happening to me. But when you get over your karma, it does tend to have a residual effect because it's still in your energy system. Even when you're making the right decisions, it does not mean that it's admonished from your system. The universe will continue to throw stuff at you until you're sure that doesn't feel good anymore, that's not something you want. And violence and war and all that kind of stuff has nothing going for it whatsoever. I think that's why I was born on the 6th, which is the Lover's card in the tarot, or the Peacemaker. You know, it's Venus ruled, because that was going to be my huge jump in consciousness in this life, was going from the, you know, you were saying 88 is a high master number, but there's a 16 that sits behind that. 88 is one of those master numbers that has a karmic number behind it. So for me to have gotten to the next level, I had to go through the self-absorption or the turbulence of the 16. The 88 swims up high into the high 7s, which would be the astro travel and contact with aliens and all those things that I've seen. You know, I've had all those paranormal experiences, more than I would ever like to talk about here, because you know, not everybody's ready for these type of things. By the way, they're just experiences. It was fun, and coming down from that 88 in that 16 goes right into the swamp. So you're talking about a huge roller coaster shift if you cannot stay on the higher realms of the master numbers. In your case, Susan, as a 55, using your shamanistic or writing abilities or healing alternative abilities and financial means to put back into the system to uplift humankind. That's what the task of the master numbers are. Bill Gates coming in with a triple-double master numbers must give back to the system the gift that individual has, the recognition of their very life, of Bono of U2, is that if we don't give back into this system, you know, and billions of us know it, we're all doing it, there's many masters down here, everybody's a genius, you know, it's all good, but, you know, we can't awaken enough to the idea that if a child is starving in Africa, you know, we're all starving, you know, in one way or the other because of that life.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
No, back to the chicken wing, right? Or the turkey leg. We've come full circle.
Yeah. Now I'm hungry. Yeah.
Dip it in some barbecue. It'd be good to go.
Yeah.
I could go for some corn right now.
Yeah.
I'm a Midwestern boy, you know.
Yeah, you like your corn, your potatoes, your corn, and your meat, right?
Y'all making me hungry.
It's too late, Melissa. You're stuck in this. There's no escaping.
I have a friend here who wants to get a reading done, so I'm trying to convince her to call in instead of me giving them all the information over, but she said to go ahead and do her reading, so let me see.
Oh, do you have all her information?
Yeah, actually.
Okay.
Let me see. Actually, I got to get the year that she was born. I can't remember that. So, well, I can figure it out, but
yeah.
Let me see.
Well, but that'd be painful.
Yeah, it does, especially since it's math, you know. Let's see. Okay, here I'll ask her to read.
I don't like math either.
Let's see. Well, I'll give her a few minutes and see what she says. She might just call in. Maybe I can convince her.
Yeah, have her call in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm watching the switchboard. I'm telling her I'm anxiously waiting to see her on the switchboard.
Yeah.
You know, and if you can't get her to call in, use some of those military moves. You know, just use some blunt force.
Yeah.
A straw. You got like a handy McDonald's straw or something. That'll work.
Okay. I'm multitasking. It's going rather badly, but so I'm listening and I'm on Facebook trying to convince her to call in.
Well, there's no rush, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, anybody's welcome to call in. You know, the call-in number would be area code 646-652-4889, and I have this posted on my Transitions to Transformation Facebook page. So, you know, if you wish to call in, you want a reading, or you just want to talk about turkey legs and stuff like that, we're here. So.
You know, it was funny that I brought that up because I'll eat just about anything, and those turkey legs look so surreal to me that I don't know that I've ever actually had one.
Oh, yeah, I know, right? It's like something out of the Flintstones.
Yeah, I mean, it's so Renaissance. I had to bring it up and I love turkey, but those don't really look all that good to me. I was thinking of during the Renaissance time, having a weapon handy just in case. You know, I haven't made a complete altercation in my consciousness here. You know, I'm still thinking a little bit about protection and so forth. I hope.
Warrior energy.
Huh?
You still have that warrior energy.
Yeah, but that's got to go. I don't watch football anymore. I've lost my interest. The idea of winning and losing. There are. I think the movie was it Sam? I Am Sam or something like that. They're talking about cooperation works along with competition, and I'm not really sure that I even believe in competition. Everything is relative to your own perspective, and think of
which lenses you're wearing.
Huh?
Depends on which lenses you're wearing, for sure.
I mean, I have a hard time as I get older with this concept of winning so that somebody else loses. I don't see how that goes together or how that's become important. I know that in my own life that winning felt better than losing, but I don't know that winning felt great knowing that somebody else lost. Very interesting, the functions of the ego and how it is constant rattling us day in and day out and lying to us as to what's important, what's valuable, how we're separate from other people, how we have to have more. It's never good enough. And, it seeks but never finds. It's constantly looking for something that it will never find because it feels no connection, no oneness to other people in its desire to destroy the very essence of who we are as an absolute illusion, because it cannot happen. We can't be separated from God no matter what. We always return back to the source from where we came from.
Yeah, that's true. When you mentioned winning, I couldn't help but, I get those funny mental blips. I just pictured Charlie Sheen going, duh, winning. you know.
My friend said that today.
That was it was just so irritating when he said it that it's almost sickeningly funny.
Yeah.
You know, because you know, like he invented it or something. I mean, it's just crazy. You know. Yeah. And it's paradoxical because how is he winning at the time, you know? Everybody's thinking he's losing, and yet, so winning is a very interesting thing. Are you winning or aren't you? Are you really winning or are you losing? You know, it's confusing.
Yeah, it is.
It's confusing to think that you take a step higher because you pounded somebody, because that's essentially what it comes down to. Now in college football, the goal is to win 70-0 so that you can get to first place. Now, where is the fun in beating somebody 70-0? It certainly doesn't make the impaired individuals playing on the other side that wanted, got a scholarship, and have no physical attributes. It can't make them feel good. It's just, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's so lopsided. And actually it's a toy compared to war, where we just go out and we wipe out thousands of people at a time. No big deal, because a few errant terrorists, we wipe out thousands of people.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
I'll never understand it.
Well, you know what? I don't know why I brought it up because, again, where did I get off key with that? It's always about greed. War is about nothing but greed, and it's never about anything else but greed.
Exactly. It's just a money-making. It's like a money-making killing spree. It's ridiculous.
Exactly.
It's just absolutely good for nothing. Just like that song, War.
Oh, that's a good one. You're right. Yeah, that's a great song. Yeah.
I was curious. Do you know Charlie Sheen's numbers by any chance?
Yeah, he's born on the 3rd. He's born on the 3rd of September, and I think that's where his appeal comes from. 3 is kind of light and funny type of energy. Sex adds up to 3, and I always say pick 3, and it's funny because 3 has its darker side to it. And then he's born at 9/3, which is 12, another 3. So he's got a 3 sitting next to a 3, and that being Jupiter or Sagittarius energy, that's the expansiveness that brings the money, but at a cost. In karmic numerology, Sheen's name means misfortune. Which is the number 43, different system. Linda Goodman's spiritual numerology, and then Sheen changed his name for a while to Charles Sheen, which I thought was funny because I did the numbers to that, and that meant power and authority. He should have stuck with that. He would have been easier to deal with. But again, the idea of he should have picked this and we do this woulda, shoulda, coulda thing in our life, he took on that energy for a reason. There's something that he has not learned about addictions that's creating that pain and that misfortune. I don't have much easier numbers than Sheen's, so who am I to say? I'm a little bit of a masochist myself. These trying to overcome these lower energies that we get ourselves involved with, whether it's anger or drugs or sex, any of the addictive escapisms, and the realization that those things in the end never make us feel good, and we always have to like come back to our senses, and that's always very painful, you know. I say we because it's a billion people problem, you know. We all come down here with our illusions, our addictions, our those things, those repetitive cycles that we've gotten used to, that we've become miserable in until it becomes so miserable, and we become so aware how it's keeping us from happiness that it's like it's got to be a great shock for most of us to get out of those cycles. Most people don't learn easily. Do you think people learn easily, Susan, or am I wrong on that?
Well, not always, because, you know, in my case, I'm pretty hard-headed, and I need to fall on my face before I need to learn anything. I never take what anybody says to me as, you know, okay, I have to do this because this person said so. I really need to fall on my face to learn something, and I have to learn the hard way, unfortunately. You know, and that's just how I've been. You know, hopefully I change that pattern. But I don't think learning is easy for everybody. You know, speaking, you know, like I mentioned before, I'm a hard-headed person. You know, I have to learn by experience rather than hearsay. You know, I always take the path less traveled, so to speak. So yeah, I gotta be hit with a 10-pound heavy thing. I mean, you know, I've done that time and time again. There's no doubt about it. I can see why I have difficulties in my life, and I'm glad that I'm aware of that, and it comes through. It's coming through suffering or isolation, and the recognition that I'm actually manifesting all of it for my higher learning. But it is interesting that when you go through the humility of having the rug pulled from underneath you, mostly because I'm changing. My perceptions are changing, and so I have people leaving my life, and I have new people coming in. As I try to understand who this new person is that has gone through some traumas recently that are humbling me and making me hopefully a kinder, nicer person, more thoughtful and sensitive. Yeah. You know, we have to go through humbling experiences. For me, it was, you know, losing my job through illness, and then going through the financial ramifications of that, and then, you know, of course, you know, going through the throes of illness. I was very, very sick. I almost died 3 times. You know, and of course, you know, just feeling like all my power left me. That was the hardest part, really. You know, was feeling like all my power left me. And you know what? There's so many other people going through that right now. So, you know, I can take my experiences and I can help other people, you know, tell them which route to take, you know, and try and help them. That's the beauty of the lenses that we wear. We can either choose, you know, what I call the lenses is how we perceive things. We can either wear the lens of victimization, or we can wear the lens of being victorious. Now, I choose being victorious. It's what kept me alive, you know, and, you know, and I always tell other people, too, you know, sure, you know, it's okay to feel your emotions and be angry, but, you know, work through it and feel it and then release it and move forward. That's, you know, that's what I like to tell people.
Well, the repression of anger or not claiming who you really are, and this opposition from a mainstream, you know, that is constantly pushing that you don't have enough. Of course, I don't watch TV anymore commercialization, which is just a phase I'm going through. I have nothing against it. Just another nice little toy we have, in this country, But to also have the guts to oppose a mass consciousness that is where everybody's kind of gripping on to each other and nobody really wants to rock the boat, and to be able to go through that dark night of the soul, and push the limits and say, wow, they're afraid because they want to do what you're doing. I mean, sometimes we need to turn things around, because you can feel even in your life, Susan, and you're on the cutting edge and you're out of the box. There's got to be times where you feel that the world is against you if you choose to perceive it, and I have to always turn that around, because being out of the box, somebody's got to push the limits. Okay, I think that's why these people would say, well, what was the value of Evel Knievel's life? Well, he showed up. He did it. He didn't. I don't remember him having any fear. That in itself is the lesson behind that. I bring up Knievel because Knievel was a double 14. The karmic number people fascinate me. They just show up and they do it, and the consequences of it are a lot of aches and pains. But I'm fascinated by those individuals that are willing to push the limits. And who cares about the little ones that huddle together? I mean, where are they going with all that kind of stuff? God bless them and all, but there are plenty of lambs out there. We need more lions out there. We still got a Leo on the line, don't we? Melissa's still there?
Yes, I am, but I'm going to have to hang up. The phone's about to die, so it's in the red and it's barking at me. So.
Well, it at least it's just your phone. We can recharge it. We can make it better.
Yeah, probably like 5-10 minutes of charging, but I don't know, something's draining it. Probably some background application. You never know. So.
Well, Susan, what I'm thinking is I have to take a run here. I got a call to pick up some eraser boards across town. Okay. I want to do that now, so that when I get up, I can start working on my presentation.
Absolutely. So I guess we'll bid everybody a good night. I want to thank Melissa, Lee, and Danielle for calling in. I didn't get to say goodbye to Lee, but Lee, thank you again for calling in and having wonderful questions as always. And I want to especially thank Todd Patrick Curran, numerologist and author of the book, The Mysteries of Numerology, The Guide to Your Destiny, including personal profiles of visionaries, musicians, and madmen. I highly recommend it for people who love rock and roll and who love numerology. And you're going to be doing a workshop this Friday, November 30th, at the Sanctuary of Light in Newport Richey. It's on Trouble Creek Road. I will be posting the link to that church as well after this is recorded, so that way people can know. And I just want to thank you so much. I know it was on short notice, for taking the time out and doing readings for everybody and just sharing with us, how an esoteric science like numerology can really, show you the blueprint for your life, which can always be changed, but it shines a light on what we need to work on. So once again, thank you so much, Todd Patrick Curran, for joining us, and I want to thank everybody out there listening and my callers. And many blessings, and fare thee well. Have a good night.
Thank you very much, Susan. I really enjoyed it. I always do. This is what we do. This is what heals us, and I thank you for agreeing to this contract that we would be doing this tonight, and Melissa also for sharing a part of her life with us, and I hope that, Melissa, you bring some more friends into the circle for the next time that we join together.
All right, will do. Thanks very much.
Well, thank you very much. You keep in touch now.
Thanks.
I'm sorry?
You keep in touch now.
All right, we'll do.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye. And
good night,
you have
Susan.
a wonderful night, too. Have a good night, Todd.
You too,
Bye.
Susan. Sweet dreams.
You too.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.